Wait, there's something very weak coming through.
Yeah, I'll take that red one. No, not that one.
All right, come on. And the red one. Come on. Well, come on, Red. Let's go. Uncle Owen.
Yeah?
This R2 unit has a bad motivator. Look.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, fellow Galactic listeners. I'm Aaron Julian, and this is WSTR Galactic Public Access, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 108. Today, we are talking about the red one, the big red one, R5-D4. That's right, we're doing an Imperial inspection on the astromech that could have been. As always, joining us for the show today, Miss Heather Allred.
I've crawled out of my tauntaun. I have survived the Hoth conditions, and I am here.
Excellent. And Todd Hoffman.
Yes, I have also been in the Wampa Cave trying to survive the Siberia, polar vortex 2019.
Yeah, for those just joining us, we're from the Chicago area, and boy, howdy, it got cold. To put it in perspective, I think yesterday it was like 15 degrees, and that was 70 degrees warmer than it had been on Wednesday. So
I was wearing a tank top and shorts, you know.
Yeah.
Today it was like a balmy 40. I was like,
I know. It's like, it's actually pretty nice out.
Oh,
I'll
cold.
be fine.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have a friend in California. If it gets to 40, he's like warming up his car in the morning and shivering, and I'm like, must be nice. Anyway, You can check us out on social media at WSTR Media, all one word, all lowercase. Email us at mailbox@wstrmedia.com. Leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. You can catch our entire back catalog of episodes at podcast.wstrmedia.com. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss our next live episode. That's at youtube.com. Search for WSTR Media. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Big surprise.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
wow.
That, of course, is Amazon's free audiobook service. You sign up, I think it's $15 a month. You get your choice of a free book every single month and a discount on thousands more. You can sign up over at www.audibletrial.com/WSTR and start your free trial off with a free book of your choice. That's right. Just about 500,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. So to get your free audiobook today, audibletrial.com/WSTR. If you don't like it, who cares? You can cancel, no questions asked, and you get to keep the book that you chose. And this podcast is brought to you by our merch store with our good friends over at Teespring. Head on over to store.wstrmedia.com and you can support your favorite local homegrown organic podcast. Free range. I forgot that.
Free range.
I'm going to get it one day.
So close.
One day it's just going to flow really smooth.
Yep, it's just going to flow like water.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you can have your pick of stickers. We got mugs, a hat. Do we have a hat?
No.
We have a t-shirt.
No.
We have tank tops.
Yeah.
We have a sweater,
Yeah.
a hoodie. We got leggings. We got socks.
Yeah.
And we just added a long sleeve shirt. Is that right?
Just for that polar vortex or winter blues, you can have a long shirt tee, man, long sleeve tee.
Yep.
Very nice.
So deck yourself almost head to toe in all our merchandise over at store.wstrmedia.com.
I like
And
it.
Heather, let's get a little teaser for our news of the week at the end of the episode.
I do love this part, guys. All right, we've got some good ones.
Okay.
I have Mace Windu,
Mm-hmm.
and then what we all hope for, Hope.
Yeah.
Ooh, get off the stage.
Oh, Watto! I have Black Spire.
Okay.
Celebration times. Come on. I changed it so we wouldn't get in trouble. But
Oh, right.
Thank you.
celebration.
YouTube, please don't destroy us.
We got some celebration news.
Excellent.
So.
And with that, Todd, I think we have a little action on the Twitter, do we?
Oh, yes. So, everyone, this is Twitter Trash Compactor.
Get in there, you big polio! I don't care what you smell! Get in there, don't worry about it!
So every week we run a poll on the old Twitter, and on Twitter, 4 choices. And so we always try to be relevant to what we were talking about. So last week we had a great guest, Amy, and she headed up 365 Star Wars Women. So the question was, who is your favorite Star Wars leading lady? Okay. And so we have 4 choices: Padme Amidala, Princess Leia, Jyn Erso, and Rey. Because Rey doesn't have a last name yet. We don't know. Just Rey. She goes by Rey. It's like Prince. Just one word. So this thing, I think everyone was just in the polar vortex. So this thing got like some serious votes. And I was, we have the Facebook group going on. I was like, this is already at 100 votes in like an hour. It's like, what is going on here, people? But right now, as of this recording, roughly about 479 votes, a couple retweets. We really appreciate it. So let's start with you, Heather. Who is your favorite Star Wars leading lady?
Yeah, so I looked at my choices and I reviewed them, and I enjoy them all. They all provide a different, story, a different component. There's another word I'm looking for that I can't think of, so we're going to pass right by that.
Some intelligent word.
Some smart words, but I looked at the big picture, big overarching, and I chose Princess Leia. Which is kind of interesting because I don't believe she was ever my favorite when I first came on the podcast. Okay. But I think as I've rewatched and reinvested in the original trilogy, and I've seen her character arc continue in the back half, I think she is, as I stated in an episode or 2 ago, she really is sort of the glue that's holding this whole thing together. So
that was just last week. So
it was just maybe last week or the week before. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I went Princess Leia.
Okay. Aaron, same question. Who is your favorite Star Wars leading lady?
Let's see. Padme, she had a good run, 3 movies, same as Princess Leia.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, and this is the problem with many female characters that, how do I put this? Let's say could be improved in their writing, is that she really just revolves around Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
And has her moments where she's herself, but it's not really there. So a bit of a pass on that. Rey, I don't think is flawed enough to actually be interesting to me. So episode 9 notwithstanding, because we don't know what kind of wacky twists and turns they'll put her through.
Oh yeah.
And poor Felicity, Jyn, it's just an impossible task. Make a compelling character that everybody knows is going to die at the end, and will have no other impact on the Star Wars story whatsoever. Right. So she gets my silver medal, but Princess Leia, she takes the gold just because just the huge impact that she's had on pop culture as a whole. So
totally.
That's my vote.
Yep. That was a great answer. So once again, Aaron, Twitter agreed with you. Princess Leia, 56%. I kind of with you at the same thing. I really like Jyn. I think her arc is great, and but it's Heather said it best. Princess Leia is the glue, and as far as Star Wars is concerned, she just glues all these characters together. I think that's why she got my vote too. A lot of Ahsoka love on the comments. There you go, Heather, with the Princess Leia glass. Very nice. A lot of Ahsoka love out there on the old Twitter, but we only have 4 choices. 4 choices. And
come on, Twitter, step up your game.
Yeah. Can we get a 5th option? Can we get a 5th option? So I totally understand that. Ahsoka's a great character and definitely matured from her introduction to where she is at now. But we only have 4. Princess Leia won. Next up, we had a quick poll, just a one-day poll, so you never know when these polls are going to come out. So one of the favorite stories that Amy told, and I really latched on to, was there was this girl named Liz Moore, and she was a sculptor and worked on C-3PO head sculpt and the Stormtrooper helmet, both great sculpts, but she died in a car accident and right before A New Hope even started filming, so she never got to see the fruition of her work. And so the question was, what is the more iconic for Star Wars, C-3PO head sculpt or the Stormtrooper helmets? So Aaron, I'll start with you.
That's a really tough one.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 for me because, well,
well, you only got 2 choices. So.
Well, here's the thing. C-3PO's design is heavily based on
Metropolis.
From Metropolis, yes.
Yeah.
So Stormtrooper gets a little bit ahead in terms of originality, but they're both still so striking and just obviously Star Wars that I can't decide. So I abstain my vote.
I feel, Heather, do you feel like Aaron has these, like, he can't make up his mind. He can never commit to one. There's always an asterisk.
Can't put me in a box, man.
But he's so eloquent when he explains it that you're like, okay, that's fine.
At least I have reasons. It's not just like,
True.
I can't decide.
Right.
Chocolate.
Tobey Maguire is my Spider-Man, and Tom Holland is my Peter Parker. Okay. All right.
Oh, my goodness.
We get it, Aaron. All right. So, Heather, what do you think about this one?
Okay, so fun story.
Love fun stories.
Flying through Twitter, checking out the world and the tweets, and I see the poll come through, and I like to, be a fully rounded participant of the podcast. And so I thought it through, and I said, I really think for the sake of originality and the fact that C-3PO generally just looks like a robot being in quotes for the friends who aren't watching the live stream, so subscribe to us on YouTube. I said, I'm going to go with the Stormtrooper helmet. So that's where my thumb went, but my subconscious took over and clicked the C-3PO helmet.
Oh,
no. So clearly, it's all about the droids.
Yeah.
There's some interference from the Force.
Something took over. I don't know what happened.
I'm going to do this one. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I love the Stormtrooper design, and I'm also a Stormtrooper, so I had to go with the Stormtrooper helmet. And like Aaron said so eloquently, it's just a little bit more unique than C-3PO that looks like a robot, so I had to go with Stormtrooper. But they're both amazing, so there you go.
Totally.
So thank you for everyone that voted. I can't believe we got so many votes on that Twitter poll. And like I said before we went on the air, I was just like, it was a polar vortex. I think everyone was just sitting on the phone and just like,
everyone's home from work.
Yeah, that's
bored
right.
out of their minds.
So Twitter. Right, exactly. So again, just watch for those polls and we'll have them up every week. All right. Shall we move to our main topic?
Let's go.
And now for our feature presentation.
That's right. So Monday night, Jon Favreau, you have to pay attention because he's sneaky. So this is technically like a news item that we're just turning into a full-blown story here. So no words on just a picture of R5-D4. And this is like late Monday. And so if you're not familiar, if you're just stepping into this, R5-D4 is the red one. And basically Luke Skywalker says, how about that red one? Come on, red, let's go. And then if you're not too familiar with it, this is the droid that basically blows up.
Mm-hmm.
And
looks like a little medicine jar.
Yeah. So, and Luke says, this R2 unit has a bad motivator. In his so whiny voice, Uncle Owen. I was like,
I want to play with the other boys.
Yeah, exactly. I want to go to Tashi Station. If you're not familiar with a motivator, you just have to go to Wikipedia. So that's what we do. So a motivator or a motivator unit was a device that was primarily used in a droid to convert other forms of energy, such as chemical or electrical energy, into kinetic or mechanical energy. Without a motivator, a droid would not be able to move.
Well, there you go.
All right.
You're right. Well, I was thinking a motivator was like a poster or something.
No.
A little cat. Hang in there.
Stay in there. Yes, exactly. It's a standard type found in all service droids. Now, he is an R5. Obviously, his designation is R5 unit. He's an astromech just like R2. But here's a fun fact. An R5, even though the number's higher, is actually a cheaper model than the superior R2 model.
Really?
So they're low cost, but plagued with malfunction and prone to defects and have bad attitudes.
Why the bad attitudes?
I don't know. This is from Wikipedia. So,
so it's fact.
So this is like when they
fact.
release the iPhone, and then later they release like a cheaper model. It's like stripped down. Kind of doesn't work.
It kind of doesn't work. Kind of has the same features. With researching this, I was just like, I always thought because it's a higher number, I'm like, well, obviously it's a better droid than the R2,
right.
But not this time around. R5s are a cheaper model. So, So if you're not familiar with the red one, really what happens is that he helps R2 with this plan. So the first shot we get of when they're in the sandcrawler is we see one of the astromechs, which is R5, and then we pan over and they show R2 kind of like with all this garbage on. And we assume that R5 is just a bad droid with a bad motivator. He's got a bad attitude. He blows up. And C-3PO is like, hey, how about the blue one, which is R2? And R2 is like, let's do this. And what does C-3PO say to him? That's so awesome. Help me out here, guys. I think he says like, I don't know why I stick my neck out for you or something like that or something.
I'm looking for it.
Oh my gosh. We're Star Wars podcast. We can't get it right, man.
Yeah.
That's okay. So, the story that basically is canon now is coming from the 40 short stories. Okay. And it's called The Red One. And so, obviously R2 knows he has to get the plans to Princess Leia. So he conspires with R5 and says, dude, I got this thing going on. I'm very important. I'm a war hero. I got to do this thing. And so if you get picked and I'm not with C-3PO, we need to work something out here. So basically, as the story goes, R5 loosened the hinge on his head plate and redirected the lubricant in a mess just behind his photoreceptors. So when that was ready, R5 purposely discharged the power, causing his head plate to pop off that led Luke Skywalker to think R5 had a bad motivator. So who's the hero
here? It was
here?
a ploy.
What's that?
So it was a ploy.
It was a ploy. Yes.
What?
I know.
How could he do this?
I know.
He had to, because R2 had an important mission. So he stepped up and did his role for the greater good.
And
sorry,
Heather, this is why we love droids. This is why we love droids.
I knew nothing about R5 going into it. I didn't even know the little red droid had a name. From A New Hope.
This is Star Wars. Everyone has a name.
Well,
it's also Star Wars where everything gets a name after the movie. So but okay, we're going to step back a smidge because that just happened. That was canon. That just came out like a year ago. That book just came out about the red one. All right. In Legends, this is where it gets a little wonky.
Hold on to your butts.
Here we go. One such story was that R5-D4 was called Skippy the Jedi droid.
Excuse me, what?
Skippy the Jedi droid.
I mean, I was following you so far, but you might have lost me here.
Wait.
What's going on, Todd?
Okay, so in Infinity Story, so in the comics in Dark Horse, they did these Infinite Story, which is basically kind of like a different timeline. Okay. And so the story posted that the character nicknamed Skippy could use the Force. After seeing a vision of Luke Skywalker's future, Skippy made it appear that his motivator malfunctioned so that Owen Lars could purchase R2-D2 and Skywalker could fulfill his destiny as a Jedi Knight.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not. This is legit stuff. Heather, what do you think about this story of Skippy, the Jedi droid?
I mean, okay. I'm having just a hard time with the name Skippy.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even mind the Jedi droid.
I kind of do.
I feel like some guy in an office was like to his like 4-year-old kid, like, I need to name this droid something. And the little boy's like, Skippy! It's like, that's not how that works.
That's exactly what happened.
But if I move past the name.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm going to play an Aaron card and I'm going to play both sides and say, I love this idea of expanding the droid universe and giving them more functionality and ability, the foresight of the vision, which I guess that's what foresight is. Anyway, that's why I got tripped up. I'm like, did I just say the thing I've been describing?
All good. Fine.
It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, it seems a little far-fetched at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if it is a droid, and if it's a lower case droid, as we've learned, it doesn't seem to work.
Okay.
If it was built for a specific purpose and continually malfunctions.
Yeah.
So it's a weird kind of dual. I don't totally get it.
Okay.
It's my gut reaction.
Aaron, Aaron, what say you?
I think some of the things that were lost in Legends probably should have been lost. This being one of them.
This is definitely one of them.
It just goes against everything we know about what the Force is, because even in canon, it's understood to be like an energy field produced by all living things, and so It's been long understood that droids can't really tap into this. It's just not available to them, and so the idea that all of a sudden this plucky little astromech droid can and
has a Force vision.
And has a Force vision, and is called a Jedi, despite receiving no Jedi training. It's a little bonkers.
It is.
Yeah, so I don't like the consistency of it. I do like the idea of this kind of backstory and plot threads weaving together behind the scenes or in between scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
I can dig that. I can dig that astromech droids would talk to each other and share plans and things like that. And R2's just so excited about delivering the plans to the rebellion that he just has to tell the whole world about it. I dig it. I really do. Don't make a Jedi droid out of it.
All right,
just have him be just have him be like a regular droid who is heroic in his own way. He doesn't need to be one with the Force or have a Force vision or be a Jedi in name only to be a hero. You can be a perfectly good hero as a droid.
Okay. All right. Well, we have one more backstory for the red one. So another storyline first included in a 1989 role-playing game, Aaron, Sourcebook Galaxy Guide 1, A New Hope, had R5-D4 as an ordinary droid who was eventually purchased by the Rebel Alliance. Historian and spy Vornir Nala. As part of the Rebel Alliance, R5-D4 helped Nala spy on the Imperial forces on Tatooine and provided background information to officers' official Alliance profiles for R2-D2 and C-3PO. Is that better?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot more plausible.
Yeah.
Although I say that I like background plot threads weaving together. It can go too far in that like every detail is special and that the entire galaxy is revolving around Luke Skywalker and he's on Tatooine and it's a backwater planet, but everything important happens here. It could be a little bit much, but this is a 1-paragraph summary of the entire scenario here, so I shouldn't judge it too harshly. But for now, I'm like, yeah, I can dig it. He's a spy, or purchased by a spy, and operated as one. It's like, okay, I don't know what background information he could provide on Tatooine, but there you go.
All right.
Does the old cyanide pill trick as soon as he's being purchased by Lars. Okay, he's a spy now. That's a bit better than a Jedi.
Yeah. Heather, what say you?
Yeah, it definitely makes a bit more sense to go down this alley of what a droid's use could be versus the Jedi side of things. Still goes with that idea that droids really become a major part of the Star Wars storyline. Obviously, we see R2 having a huge purpose and basically saving the day in all the films, and BB-8 becoming a beloved new droid. So this one definitely does not bother me. Again, I'm not necessarily in all of the nitty gritty of all of the storylines and all of the lores and all of the folk stories and cave,
all the Skippy Jedi droids out there. Yeah.
So to me, if I don't look at all of the nuances, I'm like, all right, I buy it. I think it would be interesting to know more to round out that, thought process a little bit. But as of right now, I choose to be good with it.
Okay. Right. So the other one that's not mentioned here, but basically really kind of the fan theories, again, I'm using air quotes, was that R2 just flat out sabotaged R5. So he would not be picked because there was only 2 astromechs, and what the heck does Lars need an astromech droid in the first place? He ain't got no starfighter out there, but I digress. But basically, R2 would sabotage that, and R5 kind of comes in second place there. So, but if you really want to get the whole story, you have to read again from a certain point of view. It's by Ray Carson. The short story is called The Red One, and that was published in 2017. And I just got it for Christmas, so I am slowly reading through that as well.
Very nice.
Here's our big question. This is the big question for the night, and this is why we're doing the Imperial inspection of R5-D4. What the heck is he doing in The Mandalorian? Heather.
Well.
Or Aaron. Go, Aaron. You have something. Go.
Yeah.
Well, refresh my memory. Does this take place after Return of the Jedi or before A New Hope?
Okay. The Mandalorian takes place after Return of the Jedi.
Okay, so R5 doesn't die here. He is repaired. Presumably by the Jawas.
Yes.
Man, there's so much possibility here because the idea of the Jawas is that they just steal everything, and the sand crawler's stolen, all the droids are stolen, and then they sell them off. So it's basically a traveling circus in there, as far
right.
as all the droids that are there, where they came from, where they're going. You could have an entire, TV series on that. A traveling circus troupe of droids. But the point being, R5 could end up anywhere. It's probably going to be Tatooine because that seems where it's taking place. But there's so many different owners that he could have, or tasks that he's assigned to, or that he's in the background of, associated with the criminal underworld.
Yes.
That, maybe it's just a spoof. Maybe it's just a little cameo for like 5 seconds and they have this expensive droid made for it. But if he does show up as a character, it could be as little as a cameo. It could be a recurring side character. Maybe the Mandalorian has need of an astromech droid and so picks up R5 because, hey, he's cheap.
He has a bad attitude and a bad motivator.
Yeah. Maybe they'd be a good fit. Who knows?
That's right.
There's a ton of possibilities. That's what I'm looking.
Okay. Heather?
Obviously I have no idea, but I would like to think if they went like the cameo route, I think it would be really funny to have a scene where someone is looking to purchase off the Jawa and they choose R5 and then he blows up again. I think that would be hysterical. Like it's the only thing he's good for in, film. But I kind of like this idea of him either joining a Mandalorian or somehow interacting through a different character other than the main Mandalorian character.
Right.
Who, depending on where the data wiping, brain wiping component falls into this, does he still have memory of R2 and what the mission was? Does he have, his little, his, droidy brain going on or something? I'd find it interesting. We haven't really seen a lot of bad droids, again, in quotations.
Evil droids.
Evil droids.
Like BB-9E.
That was kind of a really fun... It was super fun that they gave BB-8, a villain, like his own counterpart.
Little nemesis.
He's like BB-8, but black.
Ooh.
A little flat head there.
Yeah, edgy.
But yeah, so I don't know, obviously Mandalorians, what I do know of them, they're kind of a chaotic neutral. They're not necessarily the bad guy, but they're not the good guy. Would R5 become this sort of neutral droid? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm all for it. Hashtag droids lives matter. So obviously we've seen the fun that R2 and 3PO have together and R2 with Luke. Obviously BB-8 and Poe have an amazing connection together. So I say bring on a Mandalorian and, droid buddy cop movie.
Or you're going buddy cop movie already.
I don't know. I'm just saying the words.
I dig it. Okay, I'm going to say that
it's you.
I say that R5 is still part of the Rebel Alliance, and I'm kind of going down that spy route where he is helping some rebellion officer, and they're like buddies, and they run into the Mandalorian. That's my thing. I think it's going to be. I hope he has more than just a little cameo because he looked pretty legit, and I would love to see him have a more prominent role and redeem his bad motivator.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be pretty tight.
Well, Heather, you're our resident droid advocate, and
This is true.
As much as I'm kind of about droids, there's a lot of potential here. So I'll keep my mind open about it.
Yay!
It's good.
Listen,
it's good.
I changed Todd's mind about Ewoks.
That's true.
I'm feisty. I'll get my way.
You'll never get me alive. We'll see about that. Okay.
We'll see about that.
They obviously play an important role in the Star Wars universe.
They do.
It's
they
just
do.
how and to what capacity and with what buddy pairing that makes that fun interaction. So
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's just follow up with this question here before we close this out for R5.
Okay.
Are we going to see, now here's a question, are we going to see R2-D2 and C-3PO in The Mandalorian?
Can we not?
I don't know.
Can we not, please?
Okay.
I need some distance from the whole Skywalker soap opera. It's not you, it's me. We just need a little break. And,
little break up.
The Mandalorian is a great way to do that, to just have a separate story in the same universe. Totally, if not mostly, detached from all the goings on of the main saga.
Sure.
I say mostly because, well, we have IG-88 and now R5, and who knows what other droids connected to the main story. So
sure, yeah.
But it's just like we need some fresh air. We need a breather. We need some original, interesting ideas, which the showrunners for this TV series seem to understand more than those who make the movies. But I hope we get a break. At most, a cameo might be cool. Just depends on how they execute it. But yeah,
sure.
That's my
Heather,
take.
what say you?
Yeah, I think I'm with Aaron. I think this is the perfect opportunity to expand the Star Wars universe. So I say let's not have them in there. And that's coming from someone who has no problem seeing R2 anywhere. But I think it's time to explore different parts of the universe. It doesn't mean they don't get referenced. It doesn't mean it's not part of the greater story arc, but that's not, I believe, what this particular choice of production is for. So I say no.
Right. Well, I absolutely love if R5 has more of a prominent role. I just think that's cool that they take a character that had, a couple seconds of screen time, which as Star Wars fans, we love having those characters that have this little time and we just blow it up to Skippy, the Jedi droid. But I really like if R5 has this other role and he's prominent in The Mandalorian. I think that would be a pretty cool thing. And we see this happen, R2, and then we have BB-8 and we have Chopper, and we love our droids. And it'd be interesting to see if he comes back from his bad motivator snafu and kind of owns it, or at least has a little bit more prominent role. But for what it's worth, it could be a cameo. It could be just like Aaron said, it's just like you have a really awesome droid that makes a little cameo, or it could be even more. So tune in till Disney Plus or Disney streaming, whatever you want to call it. Disney Flicks this fall. I know. Heather, shall we move on to the news of the week?
And now, the Star Wars news of the week.
Our favorite Peter Parker, not Spider-Man. We have BGR.com stating Avengers Infinity War created a hilarious Star Wars paradox that only Spider-Man can fix.
Do tell.
You have my attention.
I will tell. So, we all have seen Civil War, and if you haven't, stop, watch it, come back. Where Spider-Man is brought into the fight and he references this really old movie, which happens to be the Empire Strikes Back.
Star Wars.
And so
Star Wars.
But for those who are familiar with the Star Wars universe, we know that Mace Windu is played by a very famous guy. Wait a minute.
John Travolta.
Yes, John Travolta. Very good, Aaron. You win the prize. So, but we also know that Samuel L. Jackson, is part of the Marvel Universe. Who plays
MCU.
Nick Fury, who I sometimes call Nick Furry because I have a cat issue. Don't tell him. So we have to say, if Star Wars technically exists in the Marvel Universe, what will Peter Parker think when he meets Mace Windu, aka Nick Fury?
Right.
What's going to happen?
Now, hold on a second.
Yes.
As far as we know, only the original trilogy exists in that universe. It could very well be that the prequels don't exist.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Put a little spackle on that. We're good to go.
Just saying. I mean, it's possible. It'd be a nice joke. It might be too meta and break the story, but you know, hasn't stopped them before with the "what are those" joke with Black Panther.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe they'll go for
what
it.
Do you think, Todd?
Who's the guy that replaced? He's I'm blank. War Machine. And
Don
he
Cheadle
replaced
in what's his face? Yeah.
Yeah, Terrence Stump or whatever. And so they made an in-joke there, like, you look different in the second one because Terrence wanted more money. They said no. They recast, and now, 6 movies later, Don Cheadle is still there or whatever. I think they will make a joke about it. I kind of because technically right now, Peter Parker hasn't met Nick Fury yet, but he's about to because they show it in the new trailer, Right. And so I think it would be funny if Peter Parker, Tom Holland, Aaron's favorite Peter Parker, will make a joke about it. They also build the Death Star. They build in the Death Star in Homecoming, so
true.
It's legit. It definitely original trilogy, but I don't know. We'll see.
So I say if they can do it well, I'm all for it. But if it's like really ridiculously obvious, I'm not okay.
Okay.
So all right, Todd.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you the next news point here.
Okay. Thank you.
Because it's I don't want to do it. It makes me sad.
Yeah, I know. So this next one, I found out about this last week too on my forums. But a vigil was held for a Star Wars fan killed in front of her home in Tobo, Texas. So if you're not familiar with the story, Elizabeth Liz Barraza, 29, was shot 4 times on January 25th as she was getting set up for a garage sale. A neighborhood security camera captured the shooting and the killer running away. Another caught the shooter's truck and left the scene in this neighborhood. But basically, the friends and family of Elizabeth Liz set up a vigil, raising lightsabers and whatnot. But she was a huge Harry Potter fan and a Star Wars fan, and she was part of the 501st Legion in Texas. So, it's just a sad little story, but with all sad stories, hopefully there's hope in this and that they do find the person that did this. But it's no one has been arrested, but if you have any leads, you can contact the Harris County Sheriff that is part of Tobo, Texas. But just a sad thing, but again, they did have a vigil and raise money, and I think that's always a good thing when something like this strikes. Sometimes you don't have the answer for these things, but hopefully something good will come out of this. But yeah, our hearts go out to Liz and her family with that. But yeah, not the greatest news, but yeah. So there you go.
Well, at the risk of just waxing poetic about this, whenever I see things like Star Wars weddings and things like that, there's part of me that just kind of steps back for a minute, and I'm like, all right, this is a little weird. Like, we're dressing up as characters from an old sci-fi movie, but there's a lot more to it than that. And for Liz, it was so important to her in her life, during her life, that she was a member of the 501st and had friends and contacts there, and she was able to spread joy to other people that way. And then for that to also help bring people together, unfortunately, in the event of her passing, it's hard to describe, but whatever can bring people together during these times is important and not silly in any way. So as horrific as this is, I hope that God can use it and anything else to help bring this community and their family together, and that he would bring justice for whoever's still out there and hasn't been caught yet. So
well, okay, but here's another thing that's very well said, Aaron. But here's another thing. What does Yoda say to Anakin in Revenge of the Sith? He says, "Death is a natural part of life. Rejoice for those around you who transform into the Force." So, like you said, I mean, Star Wars brings people together. That's why we're together. We love Star Wars. Well, we're friends too, but we like Star Wars, but it's a thing that kind of pulls us together. And like you said, she was able to spread joy doing something that she loves, like the 501st. It's just, hopefully this will bring people together, even though it's a sad circumstance. So, all right, Aaron.
Well, moving swiftly on.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like this next news story is from The Verge. A new Star Wars book is coming out, which will tie in with Disney's upcoming Galaxy's Edge theme parks. So, I don't know why it's plural there. Disney's upcoming Star Wars theme park, Galaxy's Edge.
Parks. It's two
parks. That's right. They got the one in California. Okay.
Yeah.
They're both shaping up to be major expansions for the theme parks in Florida and California that are firmly grounded in the Star Wars canon, tying into the larger saga that we've seen in the films. StarWars.com announced that the author of Phasma, Delilah S. Dawson, will write a prequel novel for the experience called Black Spire. And that's about all we know. Disney, they want butts in those seats. They want people in those parks. So this looks like a pretty smart move to me. If you could both enrich the body of work that is Star Wars, and also get people excited to go visit Galaxy's Edge and see what's up. Knowing Disney, they're probably going to have Easter eggs in the park based on the book. So that'd be pretty neat. Todd, what do you think about all this?
Oh, dude, this one's a little. You're basically, they're doing a comic and they're doing this book, and actually in Timothy Zahn's last book, with Anakin and Zahn, a lot of stuff happens at Black Spire, so it's already there. It's already in there, but this is a book and a comic just based on the actual thing. And I get a little, I'll probably still read it, but it's kind of like they're just pointing, I don't know. They're kind of pointing to, hey, go to Galaxy's Edge, but I don't know. It could be cool. Like you said, if there's Easter eggs in the park that are related to the book or the characters that are mentioned in the comics or this novel, it might work, but I feel like it's creating story maybe necessarily that doesn't need to have story, but.
Do you think it's going to be in the park? The Black Spire is going to be like a secret club. Like, do you know about the secret club in some of the parks right now? Club 33.
No.
Yeah, there's Disneyland, and I think they brought it to Disney World now. They have secret clubs in the park. It's called Club 33, and I think you need like a membership to get in, but it started in the New Orleans Square in Disneyland, and you can go in, adults only. It's you can get some drinks, just hang out. Yeah. It's pretty sweet. So what if they have something like that in Galaxy's Edge? You know?
If I'm going to the cantina and I have to knock like 3 times on this door, and
exactly.
I get to go to some,
that's exactly what I was thinking,
basement,
like a speakeasy.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm hanging out with Concha Club in Black Spire, I'm down, man. Then I'm down.
Yep.
Heather, what say you about this?
Well, basically what I know is while Disney sometimes makes some major decisions that don't always make sense.
Yeah.
They make a lot of really good ones.
Sure.
And they understand Disney parks and attractions that, while again, not knowing anything about what Galaxy's Edge is going to be, what's going to be part of Black Spire, is, yes, there's potentially an element of doing it because we're crazy and we're fans and we're going to buy it and read it anyway, regardless of anything. Shut up and take my money, so to speak. But I do believe there's still a purpose behind it, and there's a reason. So I love the Aaron conspiracy theory of the hidden Mickeys, the hiddenness that's going to be within Galaxy's Edge. I got a lot of air quotes today, guys.
I love me some hidden Mickeys.
You know, I'm all about the underground. I think that would be so cool to do.
It would just play into the myth of Galaxy's Edge so much, you know?
Yeah. So I think there's a reason. I think there's a purpose. I don't think they would just do it to do it. I think part of the reason I can say that, and I'll say it with one word, and that is the word porgs. There was a reason porgs were created. They just didn't happen.
To sell tickets.
I mean, yes, it's a merchandising commodity, but it also helped with a landscaping reason. But yes. So I say,
oh my god,
we're Star Wars fans. We're gonna buy it. We're gonna read it. We're gonna go.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down with this hidden club. That's like 9 3/4 there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm down with that, man.
Totally.
Before we move on to the next item, this also popped up. This also popped up about Galaxy's Edge and the Millennium Falcon. Did you read this week? It has,
I think so,
200 controls that are functional.
It's a lot.
I think I did see that. You could like sit in the cockpit.
I literally, my friend Brian Finnegan, he's like a Disney nut, and shout out to Brian. Hi, Brian. He sent this to me, and I'm just like, I literally sent a meme back and just like crying. I'm like, I don't know what I would do. I mean, I would hold up the whole line. I would just like, I gotta sit in here and touch all the 200 controls.
Just lay face down right across the console.
What does this button do? What does this button do? Basically they're taking, again, to Disney's point, is taking everything that is in the movie and putting it into this ride, so you actually feel like you're riding the Millennium Falcon. And I'm all in on this one. That I just like it. I can't wait. Can't wait. So there you go.
Awesome.
All right. What else we got going on?
Well, I don't know if anybody has got anything going on in April, but in Chicago, we got some big names coming to Star Wars Celebration.
Oh,
all right, let's hear it.
My gosh.
So Star Wars Celebration tweeted out, a galaxy of new guests have arrived. Our famous geeky lady, we've got Ashley Eckstein coming. Daniel Logan.
Django. That's Boba.
Boba.
That's Boba. Young Boba. Yes. Yeah.
Jet Lucas.
Which we talked about in our Revenge of the Sith episode. He's the young Jedi boy that's trying to flip over the 501st, and Bale's like, no, and he dies.
Also, George Lucas's son.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means when you're like, hey, Dad, can I be in your movie? Yeah, sure, son. And then he kills you.
Yeah. Oh, man. We have Ken Lung. Maybe that's how you say his last name.
Yep.
Sure. Why not?
Yep.
Then
he's Admiral Stradara or whatever. He's in The Force Awakens, and this guy, I'm going to use my hands. He's talking about maybe there's an oscillator on the ship or that's the guy. That's Ken. He's our oscillator guy. So
okay.
If you haven't, you need to subscribe to the YouTube channel and watch the live episodes and recordings because you are missing out on some stellar performances.
You miss Heather's 1,000 air quotes, cats, everything. Yes.
Anyway, let's see. We also have at Draxenberger.
That's John Ratzenberger. He's a veteran voice actor. Yes. I'm not sure. What does he do for Star Wars? He is
Major Durlin in The Empire Strikes Back. He's a field deck officer in The Empire Strikes Back on Hoth, and yeah, he's in every Pixar movie. So that's another thing. So
that's the guy. He's got the wicked mustache.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly.
Totally.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
And then rounding out, we've got Katie Cartwheel.
Love the name.
It's a good name.
It's a good name. So, Jon Favreau did the voice for Rio Durant, who's the forearm monkey kind of dude.
Mm-hmm.
She apparently was the green screen person that did all the motions for Rio. So,
nice.
Okay.
And her name fits because she's got 4 arms,
Yeah. So, guys, I have a bonus news item that did not get teased.
What?
I'm here to deliver.
Okay.
So, also through the Twitter world, we have learned that episode 9, there has been some completing of people performing, and their roles have concluded, including our favorite, very nervous droid, Mr. C-3PO Anthony Daniels has finished filming.
Mm-hmm.
Tier.
Perhaps for the last time. We don't know. And
then Brian Herring, our favorite BB-8 puppeteer, has also finished wrapping.
So 2 droids are done.
Yep.
All right. When are we going to get a trailer, people?
Celebration.
Oh, dude, that's so long.
I know. Hang in there.
It's February.
I think it'd be really smart for them if they don't on the Super Bowl. Somewhere in the immediate future, we've got to get a minimal name drop trailer.
We need a teaser.
We need just give us something.
We need a name.
3 seconds. That's all I'm asking for.
We need a name.
Yeah.
We need a title, but I mean, we've had no official press from JJ. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Got 1 Instagram photo. We got the Instagram photo from last week with our good boy Finn, and now we got 2 other actors or puppeteers. They're done. They're done filming. This film is coming to a very close, and we still got no title, no teaser trailer. I agree with Aaron. I think a full trailer is going to drop at Celebration. There's no doubt in my mind that's going to happen, but we definitely need a title soon, man.
Give us something.
Star Wars fans are going to rebel soon. And we all know what happens with a rebellion, don't we?
Yep.
We do.
Not good things.
Empires die. That's what happened.
That's right.
All right. I think that wraps up our news segment. Let's head on over to Cantina Chat. All right, Heather, what have you got for us this week?
Yeah, so last week I teased some new photography excitement, and my building of my own light box to build some sceneries was a major fail, so we're going to try it again. I'm
not laughing at your failure.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I fought with a cardboard box, and the cardboard box won, people.
Happens to the best of us.
I'm just saying. Yeah. So I got a paper cut, and like a cardboard paper cut. So it's gonna be fine. I'll survive life.
Ouch. Yeah.
I have done some soul searching, which is always exciting, and figuring out wardrobe choices for celebration. I know what you're thinking. You're like, throw on a Star Wars t-shirt and move on with your life. That's not how I roll.
No.
So kind of thinking that through. What I want to do. I'm having to.
I love that you're planning this now. I think that's fantastic.
Well, again, not to be the complete downer, but life has been a little rough for Heather this past year, and so I've got to be smart about what I am doing with my time and money and things like that. Yeah. So some of my initial hopes and dreams I don't think are going to pan. So we're moving into phase B and what that's going to look like.
So you're saying the Jawa might not happen.
I'm not sure if I'm going to get the Jawa by celebration. I've come to terms with it. So hopefully you can as well. But I do. I've got some other things in the back of my brain that I'm really excited about. So
cool. Awesome.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. So stay tuned. And then I finally saw Ant-Man and Wasp.
What? Where have you been?
I've been doing life. I don't know.
Well, it's on Netflix now.
It is on Netflix. Yeah, that helped a little bit. I really enjoyed it. I love Paul Rudd. I hearts to Paul Rudd.
He's going to be at C2E2.
I know. His daughter in the movie is quite possibly one of my favorite parts of it. So that's super cool. Yeah, it's a good flick. I mean, it's one of those Marvel flicks where you go and you watch and you enjoy. It's not meant to challenge you mentally.
Yeah. Stan Lee's cameo in this one is awesome too.
Yes.
So awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but it was weird when I was watching it and I was like, oh,
I know.
Stan Lee cameos. Now what do we do?
I know. He's also in Spider-Verse. Also in Spider-Verse. And when I saw that, I was just like, oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah. Sad. So, yeah. So just kind of getting my life pulled together with what is mentally healthy for Heather.
That's great.
Right on.
It's good.
So, Todd.
Thanks to Facebook. I don't really love Facebook, but the one thing I do like about Facebook is they have memories. And so you get those memories like, hey, this happened, whatever. So 3 years ago today, I got the big box from Anovos with my Stormtrooper armor. So that started a very long journey, and I met many wonderful people to make that happen and start and join the 501st. So, but yeah, 3 years. I ordered it May 4th the previous year, so that was 2015. So I didn't get to February 2nd of 2019 or 2016. So it was a long time coming, but I do remember I was looking through the pictures and like, yeah, that was a good day.
Nice.
It was a good day to get that box of plastic. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So
awesome.
Survived the polar vortex, as we talked about earlier in the show. Did a lot of snow blowing, and watched Spider-Man Homecoming on Wednesday when it was like negative whatever degrees. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, and then the news item kind of fit perfectly. I'm like, dude, I just watched that. So.
Very nice.
Yes. Aaron, what about you?
Well, first thing that happened has nothing to do with anything really, but I thought was funny. McDonald's in the EU lost their copyright claim to Big Mac, and so what does Burger King do? They troll them hard. They put up their own menu.
God bless America.
A whole menu that says not Big Macs, including items such as the like a Big Mac, but actually big. The burger Big Mac wished it was. Kind of like a Big Mac, but juicier and tastier. The anything but a Big Mac, which is their fish sandwich. And the Big Mac-ish, but flame grilled, of course. So
that's amazing.
I thought that was pretty funny. During the Hoth-like conditions, I watched the John Carpenter movie, The Thing, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, it takes place in Antarctica, and it's freezing cold, so I thought it was quite appropriate.
Very nice.
And then, even in the middle of Chicago freezing over, we were still able to meet with my RPG group. What we ended up doing.
That's fortitude right there, my friend.
That is dedication. So thank you to my players for making it happen. But essentially what we did is 3 of us were in the same room together, set up, the battle maps and everything. And then everybody else basically used the same program we're using, Zoom, to basically just phone in. And we did it half real world, half virtually, and it worked out. I had my phone on a tripod with the camera and everything. We were able to move it around, and it worked.
It's so nerdy. It's so great.
Yeah. So we had a lot of fun with that one.
Very nice.
And that's really all I got.
Wow.
I think that's amazing, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Oh, plot for the Star Wars RPG. So, our heroes, they emerged from the space battle outside, which turned out to be a ruse, and they landed in the hangar. And one of them noticed that the magnetic containment fields for the hangar were switched off, so there's no oxygen in the hangar, and they had to find their way out. So, eventually, they were able to hack the computer and figure out what was going on, that there's a bit of sabotage afoot, and some of the business leaders, as part of the meeting that was being held on the Capitol ship, were actually commandos in disguise working for another guy, and they rounded everybody up, took them hostage, and they took over the security droids on the ship. So they managed to...
If they only had Skippy the Jedi droid there, my friend.
If only they did. But alas, they did not. But they were able to gain control of this maintenance panel and bypass everything, get the containment fields back online, get out of the hangar, and then they proceeded up the elevator to one of the hallways where they got into a firefight with a couple of the droids. Took them out, no problem, except one of our heroes. She's a Zabrak, same species as Darth Maul. Her name's Vera. She just got lit up by one of the droids. So she is on death's door, and that's where we left off.
Oh, she's got to get to Bacta tank quick.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say about that. Heather, you want to put a bow on this episode?
I was going to say, I think that's a good place to end this episode.
That's right.
So, thanks again for listening to another episode of WSTR Galactic Public Access. Check us out on our social medias. We got Twitter, we got Instagram, we got Facebook posts, and that's WSTR Media. And we always want to hear from you, so be sure to comment, tweet. You can rate us on iTunes. You can send us an email at mailbox@wstrmedia.com. You can also leave us a voicemail message. Give us a call, 630-557-WSTR, 630-557-9787. And if you leave us a voicemail, we'll play it on an episode.
What?
Then check out our full back catalog of episodes at podcast.wstrmedia.com. And once you've fallen in love with us, store.wstrmedia.com, and you can get some cool gear to support us. So that way the love of Star Wars just goes everywhere. Everywhere. All the places.
All the places.
So that's all the ways to get a hold of us, and you know how to support us through the merch store. Next week, we will be at episode 109, and we will be talking, let's see, we got the Mandalorian Wars with Aaron's friend JD, who has been a friend of ours on the podcast before, I believe.
Yep, he's been on here. He's back from exile in Greece, and he's ready to have at it. So
let's do it.
That'll be exciting.
Excellent. So yeah, check us out next week. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can watch us live. The crazy happenings.
A lot of air quotes.
Cats, mugs.
Cat walking back and forth. It's all very exciting, guys. So, all right, are we ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So now
this
is podcasting.
No more snow. No more snow.